Alright, so in this video we're going to be reflecting figures across axes, either the x-axis or the y-axis, right? And this is pretty straightforward. So here, we're reflecting across the y-axis, or across the x-axis, sorry, so there's the x-axis. And we just count how many spaces it is for each point. For K it's 1 space, so its reflection goes on the other side. L is 3 spaces, so 1, 2, 3 spaces on the other side for its reflection. M is 2 spaces, so 2 spaces on the other side for its reflection. And then we just connect the dots. Next door here, reflecting across the y-axis. Well, K is a space away, so its reflection is going to be a space on the other side. L is 3 spaces away, so its reflection is 3 spaces on the other side. J and I are already on the axis, so they don't move at all. Technically, I prime and J prime are there. They're just right on top of the original points. Here, reflection across the y-axis. Well, D isn't going to move. There's the y-axis. G is 2 spaces away. G prime will be 2 spaces in the other direction. E is 2 spaces. And F is 3 spaces. So there's F prime and E prime. Technically, D prime, I suppose, is right there. And we just connect the dots. Here, reflecting across the x-axis, we just count spaces. Down to the x-axis, 3 spaces, so 2 spaces on the other side for E prime, 2 spaces for F, so 2 spaces on the other side for F prime. D is 1 space, so D prime on the other side by 1 space, and C is 2 spaces, so 2 spaces on the other side for C prime. Then, we just connect the lines. Let's see, E to F, and then over here, and then down there, we're done. Alright, reflection across the y-axis. There's the y-axis right there. 2 spaces for T, so 2 spaces on the other side for T prime. 2 spaces for U, so 2 spaces on the other side for U prime. S is 5 spaces away, so 5 spaces on the other side for S prime. And R is 4 spaces away, so 4 spaces on the other side for R prime. And then we just connect the dots. I'm going to pause for a second here. Okay, so across the x-axis, there's the x-axis right there. W's already on the x-axis. So W prime is going to be kind of right on top of it. Doesn't really move at all. X, 1 space away, so X prime, 1 space in the other direction. Y is 2 spaces away, so 2 spaces in the other direction for Y prime. V is 3 spaces away, so 3 spaces away in the other direction. So whenever you're doing this, by the way, one kind of good check for you is, do you end up with something that looks like a reflection? If your reflected figure is a completely different shape than your original, then you've done something wrong. Just something to keep an eye out for while you're working on these. Alright, so sometimes you can easily miscount spaces and it doesn't end up looking right. Across the x-axis right here for 7, so 2 spaces on the other side for S prime. 4 spaces for R, so 4 spaces on the other side for R prime, and 3 spaces for Q, so 3 spaces on the other side for Q prime. And then we'll just go ahead and connect the dots. We're done. Across the x-axis, well, X and Y are both 1 space away, so X prime and Y prime are going to be 1 space away in the other direction. W is 5 spaces away from the axis, so its reflection will be up here, 5 spaces away in the other direction. And there we go. We're done. The y-axis this time. Well, E is right on the y-axis, so E prime, I suppose, is going to be right on top of the E. It doesn't move at all. It's 0 spaces from the axis, so its reflected image is 0 spaces on the other side. F is 1 space, so F prime goes a space away on the other side. D is 3 spaces, so 3 spaces away on the other side. And then we'll just connect the dots. There we go. Alright, across the y-axis, alright, K is 3 spaces, so 3 spaces on the other side for K prime. J is 5 spaces. By the way, I don't have to count because I know we've created 5 spaces on the other side of the axis. I counted earlier. So J prime will be 5 spaces on the other side. I prime, 5 spaces on the other side. And L, 3 spaces. So L prime, 3 spaces on the other side. And there we go. Ta-da! Across the y-axis. So let's see, B, 3 spaces away, so its reflected image will be 3 spaces in the other direction. A is 2 spaces away, so 2 spaces in the other direction for it. And C is 2 spaces, so 2 spaces in the other direction for it. And then we'll just connect the dots. And there we go. Finally, reflection across the x-axis. W, 5 spaces away, so it's reflected image. 5 spaces in the other direction. 3 for x, so 3 in the other direction for x prime. 2 for u, so 2 spaces for u prime. 4 for v, so 4 spaces for v prime. And then we just connect the dots. So again, as with any reflection, you just count how many spaces, and if this were a different kind of reflection, it would more than agree. It's just how far away is the point from the line of reflections, and its reflected image will be that much further on the other side of the line of reflections. Just do it for each corner point and connect the dots. Pretty straightforward.